All right, let's talk about something we all have, but probably don't think too much about: the medicine cabinet. Because inside those little bottles, there's this incredible world of science hiding in plain sight. It's not just about what's in the pill, it's about the pill itself. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? Why is one pill shaped one way and another a completely different way? It feels kind of random, doesn't it? Well, I promise you it's anything but. There is a very specific, calculated reason for all of it. So, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden science of pills. We'll decode tablets, then get into some advanced stuff like capsules and coatings, and even look at liquids. And by the end, you'll see exactly why it all matters so much. You see, the big idea here is that every single pill or capsule, or even a spoonful of syrup, it's a tiny piece of high-tech engineering. The whole goal is to get that medicine into your body in the safest, most effective, and honestly, the easiest way possible. It's a whole field of science called pharmaceutics. All right, let's kick things off with the most common one out there, the good old tablet. We're going to look at the two things you notice right away: its shape and its color, and unpack how they're designed to work with both your body and your mind. So get this. You'd think with all the colors in the world, we'd see everything, right? But nope, a whopping 40% of all tablets are just plain white. And that is totally on purpose. Psychologically, we connect the color white with things like purity and cleanliness, which is exactly the vibe you want when you're taking medicine. And what about the shape? Well, round tablets are the classic for a reason. They're cost-effective to produce, and they're great at releasing the drug nice and evenly. But the oval shape, what we call a caplet, that was a game changer. It's literally designed to match the shape of your throat, making bigger pills so much easier to get down. Then you've got the more, well, unique shapes, like triangles. That's usually all about branding, and more importantly, making sure you can easily tell your medicines apart. And that little line down the middle of some pills? That's called a score line, and it's a brilliant piece of functional design. It means you can snap the tablet in half for a precise smaller dose. And this is where it gets really cool: the psychology of color. Manufacturers choose these colors very carefully. Blue tends to feel calming, so you'll see it in sleep aids. Red or orange feels energetic, so they're perfect for stimulants or iron pills. Yellow feels like sunshine and energy, great for vitamins. It's like a secret code that gives you a little hint about what the medicine is supposed to do. Okay, so we've covered the basics. Now let's level up. We're moving on from just the simple press powder of a tablet and into the really clever world of advanced delivery systems. This is where the engineering gets fun. You know that shiny, glossy coating on some pills? Well, it's not just there to look pretty. That super thin layer does a ton of work. It can cover up a really bitter taste, it protects the medicine inside from getting ruined by moisture, and it makes the whole thing slippery so it slides down your throat more easily. But then you have the superstar of coatings, the enteric coat. This is just pure genius. So you swallow the pill, and it lands in your stomach, which is super acidic, right? Well, this special coating is designed to completely ignore that acid. It stays locked up tight. Then, once the pill moves into your intestines, where it's less acidic, the coating finally dissolves and releases the medicine exactly where it's supposed to be. It's brilliant. All right, let's switch gears to capsules. The classic hard capsule you're thinking of is that two-piece shell that kind of clicks together. It is absolutely perfect for holding powders and is a lifesaver for masking seriously awful-tasting drugs. Plus, having two pieces means you can mix and match colors, which makes them really easy to identify. And yeah, they actually come in standard sizes, kind of like clothes. The biggest is called a 000. You see those with huge supplements. A size 0 is pretty common for things like a 500 milligram antibiotic. And they get all the way down to this tiny size 5, which is used for really powerful drugs or for pediatric doses where you only need a little bit. And finally, for capsules, you've got soft gels. You know the ones. They're a single, sealed little bubble holding a liquid, like vitamin E or fish oil. Their number one superpower, that smooth, flexible, almost squishy surface, makes them unbelievably easy to swallow. But hey, medicine isn't always a solid pill, right? Sometimes it's a liquid. So let's dive into the science behind the syrups and other things you might find in your cabinet. When you think of syrups, especially for coughs or for kids' medicine, what you're really talking about is a concentrated sugar solution. And that sugar is a triple threat. First, it makes bitter medicine taste way better. Second, it creates that thick, viscous texture that feels so soothing on a sore throat. And third, it's a natural preservative. Now, a suspension, That's a whole different ballgame. This is for medicine that actually can't dissolve in water. So instead, you have these teeny tiny solid particles of the drug that are just floating or suspended in the liquid. This is how a lot of common antibiotics are delivered.
Ah, yes, the classic. I bet every single one of you has seen this on a bottle before. You see it all the time. But do you know why it is so important?
It really just comes down to simple physics, gravity. Over time, those little solid drug particles we just talked about, they settle down at the bottom of the bottle. If you don't shake it, you're not mixing them back in. So the first dose might be basically just flavored water, and the last dose could be way too concentrated. Shaking it well is absolutely critical to make sure every single spoonful has the right amount of medicine. And last but not least, we've got gels. They're in this weird middle ground, not quite liquid, not quite solid. You'll see them used on the skin for muscle pain, delivering medicine right through the surface, or even inside the mouth for something like a mouth sore, where they can stick to the spot and provide targeted relief. So we've gone through all this detail, the shapes, the colors, the coatings, the liquids. But what's the big takeaway? Why does any of this actually matter?
It's because every single one of these choices, from an oval pill that's easier to swallow to a red color that signals energy, is all designed with one person in mind: you. It's about making sure the medicine works like it's supposed to, that it's safe, and that you'll actually be able to take it correctly. It's all patient-first science.
Look, the science behind our medicine is always moving forward, always getting smarter. So the next time you pop open a bottle, take a second and really look at what's inside. You now speak its secret language. And it kind of makes you wonder, what's next? What amazing forms will the medicine of the future take?